Clock is ticking for Hamas to agree to Israel's proposed ceasefire deal, but one thing is certain, deal or no deal, the IDF's invasion of Rafah is imminent. According to the Wall Street Journal, Israel gave Hamas exactly 1 week to agree to the proposed deal. It reportedly includes a 40-day calm period during which Hamas would release 33 hostages and Israel would release Palestinian prisoners. The second phase of the deal would include another 6-week pause in fighting in exchange for the release of even more Israeli hostages. So far, there is no word yet if Hamas will agree to this. The fate of the deal hinges on top leader Yahya Sinwar, who was reportedly hiding out in a tunnel deep below ground in Gaza, surrounding himself with dozens of hostages to guarantee his own safety. Sinwar's decision to accept or deny this proposal could have catastrophic consequences. More than 1 million Palestinians are right now sheltering in the southern city of Rafah, many with nowhere to go. The death toll of an invasion there would likely be staggering. And of the 133 Israeli hostages yet to be released, at least 2 more have been confirmed dead. It is unclear how many are still alive. Joining us now is Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Conricus. He's a senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. He is also the former spokesperson for the Israeli Defense Forces. Great to have you here. Okay, why these reports that Benjamin Netanyahu is giving Hamas 1 week to give them an answer? It sounds like he's had it. I mean, we have our own top diplomats, American diplomats over there right now trying to make this happen. Yep. Everybody seems to agree the holdup is Hamas.
Definitely so, and this is a week after 4 months of negotiations. That is how long these negotiations have been going on. This is now what Israel says. It's either that. Israel hasn't said it, but this is what it means. It's either you take the deal or we commence with, as you correctly said, go into Rafah and finish defeating Hamas.
Yeah, but he's also saying we're going to go to Rafah no matter what.
I think that's more messaging in order to apply pressure on Hamas, and I honestly believe that it's either or in the immediate term. I think that eventually Israel will have to go into Rafah, whether we get our hostages back through a deal or not, because Rafah is absolutely essential for Israel to defeat Hamas. Without going into Rafah, without taking out the tunnels, Hamas lives to see the light of another day, and that would essentially mean victory for Hamas, victory for their October 7th massacre, and a defeat for Israel, and Israel cannot have that. So whether it happens now or later, Israel will have to go into Rafah. Hopefully it will do so after many Israeli hostages have been returned. We're talking 210 days of war and 210 days of Israeli hostages being held captive.
There are reports out today, though, that American and even Israeli intelligence sources don't believe that you can eradicate Hamas completely. And that Yahya Sinwar, the leader who's down in those tunnels in Gaza, surrounding himself with hostages, thinks he's already won because everybody's now talking about the Palestinians. You've got college campuses, you know, cities in Europe. People are protesting. That he feels he's already won because everybody's thinking and talking and debating and arguing and protesting about it.
I would recalibrate that. Hamas is a U.S. designated terror organization. Yahya Sinwar hasn't lost yet. And I think that's a different way of looking at it. As long as he is alive, then he hasn't lost yet. But he has to continue to be alive through relentless efforts of Israel that will carry on. And Israel has both the ability and the determination to take care of terrorists like him. And he will have to fight for every day to stay alive. But I do agree that in terms of momentum and in terms of news cycles around the world, there is a dangerous slip and inertia towards a pro-Hamas, a pro-terrorist narrative on U.S. campuses across Europe, in different European cities, and that is indeed concerning. Will it mean that Israel won't be able to defeat Hamas militarily? No, Israel will defeat Hamas. But just like the idea of ISIS, right, of Daesh, ISIS was defeated militarily by a US-led coalition of 38 countries, but the idea still exists. Hamas will have the same fate.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.